Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we're back working on these castings for the Vulcan steam locomotive. These are the connecting rod bearings that will connect the front and back wheels, the driver wheels on the locomotive. And we've been machining these from some bronze castings that we had done over at Windy Hill Foundry. And previously we had machined the faces flat and parallel to one another. And we're continuing on this project now. The next step that I want to do is I want to get these things squared up on the outside edges. So we need, again, to be to the correct thickness, the correct width, and square in all directions around. And once again, we're going to be doing this job over here on the horizontal milling machine. I have, previously we were using the vertical head or the universal head, which was mounted over here. We've got that swung out of the way. Now what I've got is just a big face mill that's just mounted directly into the machine itself, so that what we can do is basically we're just going to clamp these castings down to the table. I'm going to let it hang off the back just a little bit, and we can just come in here and face these things off square, so that we'll be making a square cut, and we'll have to rotate the part around 4 times and get it to the proper dimensions. So you guys will see as we go along, but we've got 4 of these castings to get knocked out, 4 sides each on these, and again they need to be square and to the proper size. So we're going to get in here and get started on this. So first things first, I need a reference here on the table that I can put these parts up against that will be square to the movement of the table. Now I know that this back side of the table is a machined square surface that's machined square to everything, so we can kind of use that as a lineup, but I really need something that's perpendicular to that. Now I had used these little pieces here previously when we were machining as kind of reference points, or just to kind of hold the castings in place, and we're going to use these again, but I'm going to move them out a little bit because we're going to be kind of working off of that edge up there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this kind of bolted down to the T-slots, and again I just moved it up a little bit to give us a reference. And I'm going to take a machinist square here. We'll put that machinist square on the back side of the table back here, and I'm just going to clamp this down so that it is square to the table. And this piece of metal that I'm clamping down will become our reference point. Let me get that kind of snugged up, and then we'll make sure we get it nice and tight and where it needs to be. All right, so that is square to the table, and that becomes my reference that we're going to use because I want to make all my cuts square with one another. Now I've got my casting. I have gone in and marked one side of all these castings, and this is going to basically be my reference face. This is always going to be the side as I'm machining things that will be up against whatever surface I'm doing. Even though these sides are parallel to one another, I always want to make sure I'm working off the same face. So this side is going to go down, and I think we're going to start on the back side back there. And I'm just going to butt this casting up against this reference surface I've got here, and we're just going to clamp this thing down to the table with a couple of clamps, and I think we'll be ready to roll here, and we'll just come in here and we're going to machine the back side. I'm going to start by machining one side square, and we will turn the casting. We'll machine this side square to this side, and then we'll just kind of work our way around all 4 sides. And of course the last 2 sides, the first 2 sides, we're just basically going to be getting them cleaned up, and then the other sides we will be getting them to the proper dimension. So let me go ahead and get this clamped down, and I think we'll be ready to start cutting some bronze here. All right, we got our table raised up here. We'll be able to come in here and make this cut like we want. I'm going to go ahead and pull my part out over this way, and we're going to start our cutter up, and I'm going to bring in until we just kind of kiss off on the cutting there. All right, that's just kissing it. I'm going to come off. All right, I need to make about 200 thousandths off the total cut here. I'm going to start. We were making 100 thousandths cuts a while ago, and that seemed to be going pretty good. So I'm going to try 100 thou on here. I'm going to lock my table down, and we're just going to feed right across there and see how this goes. Move the camera around this side so we see what's going on. Now note that my cutter is cutting downward, so the work is being pushed into the table, and then we're going to feed it in, feed it across like such. So sounds like we got one tooth that's cutting more than the others. We'll take a look at that after this first pass and see what kind of finish we got and decide whether I want to try to fix that or just roll with it. All right, I'm looking at the finish here, and it looks just fine, so we're just going to roll with it. I'm going to give another 100 thou. Just double checking here. We're going to 7 1/16. We're at about 7 400 thousandths right now, so yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take another 100 thou off of that side, and then we'll clean the rest of it up off the other side. I'm just reading off the dial. I'm going to move it in to 200 thou right there. We'll lock our table back down and we'll make another pass. And I'm just going to let that go all the way across that. That's going to be a finished pass, so in case that cutter's dragging a little bit on the back side, we'll get a nice finish across there. All right, one down on this one side. All right, let's pull this one off. We just undo our clamps. And nice finish there. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to do all 4 of my castings on this short side first, and then we will work on the next side. So let me get the next one ready to go here. All right, we got our second casting on here. I'm going to come in. We'll come in and touch off again. Come out. And we'll feed in 100 thou. We'll lock our table down, and we'll come across there. I could probably very easily do the full 200 thou in one pass, but I'm just not going to get in a big hurry on this stuff. And again, going another 100 thou on the depth to right there, and make another pass. All right, and again here, I'm just going to let this one go all the way across. This will be a finished surface, and I hear just a little bit of a ting down here where that side of the cutter may be just barely touching it. And just to get a nice smooth finish all the way across, we'll just let it take its time and come all the way across. All right, we're ready to make our first square cut over here. This side's already been done. I'm just going to take a file and just make sure I've got nice no burrs there where I'm clamping down the table. This is the side that will get clamped down. That's the side that's marked with the X. No burr there. So here we go. We will come in here. I've got my fence back here that we will butt that up against to be square. And we'll come in here and just clamp everything down again on both sides. And we'll be ready to mill off that side over there. I'm going to feed in until I just touch off again. All right. I need to take about 200 thou off of this side based on my measurements. So let me zero out my cross slide here. I'm going to do again 100 thou per pass. I'm going to feed in 100 thousandths and we'll let her cut across. Cutter really sounds like it's hitting hard on one tooth, but I'm getting a really nice finish, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, the finish looks great. So we're going to let it come across. What I want to do when I get through on this first pass is we're going to come out and we're going to check it to make sure it's square, and then we'll take off the other 100 thousandths to get it down to the size that it needs to be. I'm going to come right into the back side. There's a little bit of a burr there on that corner I want to knock off. All right, that's good. And I just want to double check this for squareness. I'm going to come in here with my square and I need to come down a little bit more. There we go. And that looks really nice and square, so I'm happy with that. Okay, we'll go ahead and make our next pass. We'll take 100 thou, another 100 thou, and I think we'll have this. This will be the final pass on this side, and I've got the other 3 castings that I need to do, and then we'll work on one of the opposite sides here and get that machined out. All right, I think we got that one done. Go ahead and pull it off. We'll clamp the next one up here. And like I said, we got 3 more of these to machine square on that side. And I'll probably just do those off camera. All right, we've got 2 sides cut. They're parallel and they're square to one another rather. So now what I want to do is I'm going to cut this side over here, which is unfinished, and make it to the proper length and be parallel and square to the other side. So right now, let's see, this needs to be 7 1/16 of an inch long from this side to this side. That's 7.0625. We're currently about 7.315, so this is going to be a 2-pass operation. I think what I'm going to do, we're going to make a little bit heavier cut on the first pass. I'm going to do 150 thou. We'll come in here, we'll get a good measurement now that once we have 2 machine surfaces, and then we'll dial in that last little bit to finish it up. So we're going to be putting our finished side toward me, our other finished side up against our fence here. So we need to move down to the other side. All right, so we're going to come into our fence here. We're going to go ahead and clamp this side down. Start by just snugging it a little bit. Put our other side on over here. That side clamped good. This side clamped good. And now we can touch off. We're going to take 125. Feed in until we touch off. I'm going to zero my dial here. And we're going to dial in 125 thou. That's 125 right there. Lock my table down, and we'll feed across that. All right, we're gonna pull back out here, and let's get some measurements and figure out where we need to go to. All right, we're at 7 inches, 208 thousandths right now. 7.208. So I've got 145 thou more I need to take off this side. And once we do that, we should be to size. So we're just going to dial that in, 125, and let her cut all the way across, and we should be to length. 145 thou. A little bit too far. Let me go back. That's right where I want to be, right there. And we'll let that rip. All right, we'll let that cut all the way across. That should be a final cut. So, all right, I've got 3 sides done here. Got 1 more to go. Let me figure up how much roughly we need to take off of that. This casting needs to be 5 inches across this face, and I'm measuring on one side to rough casting, but this will kind of get me close. I'm basically need 250 thousandths, it looks like, to come off of this side over here. So let's get this clamped down. I have to move that out a little bit farther. Make sure we got a nice clean bed to clamp this to. We will put our side to be milled out. Got it up against our stop over here, which should be still be square to the table. And we'll go ahead and clamp that in place, as well as on this side. It's up against the fence. All right, here we go. 250 thousandths. I think I'll do 150 on the first pass. Then we'll come back and measure it and figure out what we need to do on the rest. Right there. Come out. I'm going to zero my dial over here so I can keep track of how far I'm going. Having to use the old-fashioned dials on this machine. I don't have a digital readout on this particular machine, so we're just reading it right off the dials. And we're going to dial in 150 thou, which is right there, and lock my table, and we'll cut across. I see a problem. We're going to stop right here. I got the X side up. The X side is supposed to be down, so I'm always working off the same reference going down. It shouldn't matter, but we haven't messed anything up yet, so I'm just going to flip this over. We'll re-zero out our, and just start to cut over. We're going to have to take another cut past that anyway, so that'll all clean up. But just saw that right then as we were getting started. That part is not clamped down in the exact same place, so all my zeros have to be started over again, and we'll dial in 150 one more time. Right there, and let's try this again. All right, let's pull it out here. We'll get a measurement, figure out where we need to go from here. I need 119 thousandths. And there we go. Confirm my measurement here. Right on the money, 5 inches. All right, we're ready to pull this one off. Got 3 more to go, and I think we'll have this job knocked out. Well, here we go. We have our castings now, surfaced on all 4 sides, square and parallel to one another. Of course, we have our sides here, squared and parallel to one another, or parallel to one another, the 2 faces, and then the 4 sides on each one of them. Everything is to size, and we are making progress on getting these castings ready to go on our steam locomotive. Next, we've got to cut the little troughs in here. These all got to be milled out to the size that they need to be. I think it's 2 different widths. I'll need to look at my blueprints again to verify that. But we're going to also do that over here on the horizontal milling machine, I believe. At least that's what we're going to try to do. I got to get some things set up and lined up for that. I think I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but that should be coming up soon. Once we have the inside parts done, then we'll need to bore the holes for the pins that go on the actual driver wheels. And I will say on those that we'll be matching the diameters that's on the locomotive. Each one of those pins is over 100 years old, and I'm sure they're all different sizes. I have mic'd them. They are perfectly round. They have worn very nice and uniformly round, but I do know that we're going to have to basically do this bore custom fit to each one of the wheels. So we'll get to that a little bit later on as well. But we are making good progress, and this project is coming along nice so far. I hate to even say it, but Bozo has not been to the shop, so everything has gone well to date, which is awesome. All right, there you go. That's where we're at right now. Well, there we go. Here's where we are right now. And like I said, very happy with how things are turning out. I know someone's going to ask, why did I do this on the horizontal milling machine rather than on the vertical milling machine? Could I have not have done this on the vertical mill? Yes, I could have put them in a vise, set them up in the upright, and came in with my vertical milling machine and done it just as well. Why did I choose to use the horizontal mill for this job? My horizontal mill is a lot more rigid, guys, than my vertical mill. This thing here is a beast. It will eat metal, and it's just, you don't get as much vibration, you don't get as much harmonics. For doing heavier milling work, I really like using this. I mean, we can basically do in 1 cut what you probably have to do in 4 cuts over on the other mill, just because of the rigidity in the setup. I also really like the fact that I was able to clamp these things down face first, and this in this upright position, you got more room for vibration. And if you clamp it in the smaller straight down position, just less room for vibration. Things are just going to work better. So I've got the machine, we're using it. Could have very easily have done it over in the vertical mill. It would work just fine. We would have gotten the same end result, but this is what I chose to do. And I will just have to admit too, I'm a little bit partial to my horizontal milling machine. I just really like it. and I enjoy using it. So that's what we chose to do here. Guys, with that, that's going to be a wrap for today. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments, always greatly appreciated. It really helps feed the algorithms over on YouTube and helps to get my channel out in front of other people so they can discover the content that we're delivering as well. As always, a big, huge thank you to you guys that do subscribe to the channel, as well as those who support the channel financially through Patreon, PayPal, etc. I really could not do everything. I say this every time, and I really do mean it, guys. I could not take the time to shoot these videos if it wasn't for that little bit of extra help there. It's getting to the point where it's hard to justify spending the extra time it takes to make these videos when I can be out here making money in the shop making parts. And while yes, we do get a little bit of revenue off of YouTube, it's not as lucrative as a lot of people thinks it is. And when we get that little bit of extra kicking in through those private contributions, it really makes it worth my time to continue doing these. And I really do enjoy making these videos and sharing with you guys and being able to put it out there. So hopefully if you enjoy the content, you'll kick a few bucks in, and it's very helpful. It really makes a big difference. And guys, with that, we're going to sign off. We'll catch you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching.